So, Season 11 was just recently revealed, with its main content revolving around expanding trading companies and how they work. There's a whole new way that voyages and world events are accessed, leading to some pretty game-changing stuff, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about today. The biggest thing I see for this video's purpose is that trading companies will now have levels that go up to 500, which is probably a grind that will take the majority of the player base a significant amount of time to complete, perhaps even a couple years if you play casually. And with this increase in long-term voyage engagement, there will also be a greater emphasis on company-related Emissary ledger engagement, whose cosmetic sets are getting fairly close to completion. Next season we'll see the equipment set fully finished, leaving probably a clothing, vanity, and maybe even ship interior set for the future. But after this, what's next? It's unlikely that the Emissary ledger rewards will just stop after the sets are completed, since the flags are such a core feature of the game, and they have an indefinite use case. Considering that new players will be constantly indoctrinated and being faced with these very demanding grinds, the Emissary ledgers will always remain as an additional incentive as long as the game is around. The obvious and likely answer, taking a page out of Insider's book, is to introduce a recolor down the line similar to the relationship between the Silver and the Sapphire Blade sets. Since the models would all be finished at this point, releasing reskins should also be logically a much quicker endeavor than the rate that the current sets are released. So, in a burst of creativity, I went into Photoshop and created some concepts for how I would personally go about recoloring some of the Emissary sets. Of course, this is all just for fun. This video does not include any leaks or informed speculation for what's to come, simply just some personal redesigning. To give a decent scope of the set, for each company I will show reskins for each the cutlass, flintlock, drum, and ship's figurehead. And without any further rambling, let's start the showcase. The Tribute Peak set is my most used out of all the following, since I am a gold hoarder boy at heart, so these were the easiest for me to plan skins for. Most noticeably, the set has just so much green in it, which sort of dominates the appearance of your loadout. So my mission for the renamed Tribute Caverns set was to make this a lot more color neutral, so that it blends with a variety of other looks, and to do that I replaced the green with gold and swapped the existing gold out for the pirates' other favorite currency, silver. Simple but effective, I found. The Order of Souls set, the Relic of Darkness, was one of the most difficult to get a concept for, since the set itself just uses so many different colors which clash from time to time. You have purple, pink, red, green, blue, brown, gold. It's a little insane. As such, I don't really see much of this set at all on the seas. My goal for the reskin, the Relic of Shadow set as I called it, was to rein in the color palette and settle on a cool appearance temperature-wise with only a handful of reds to contrast. I ended up really liking the ethereal look that these came out with, matching the mysterious magic that the Order possesses. Out of all of what's to come, this is still probably my favorite recolor out of all the work that I've done. For the merchants, the Ambassador set is very sleek and popular, with a posh, navy-like aesthetic. That being said, my goal was to try to take this appearance and alter it to the appearance of a more roguish, daring sea captain, settling with this black, brown, and yellow variant, which I coined the Merchant Privateer set. Although it is darker in several places, I didn't want to simply just cheapen that pretty mercantile look and opt for something completely rugged, however, so I decided to preserve the gold sheen and combine it with yellow cloth to maintain the merchant's other main color in their scheme. I hope all you dedicated traders like this proposal. For the Reapers, you have the Masked Renegade set, which is a very deliberately red and glowy set meant to be spottable from a great distance. This is obviously supposed to create a fear effect, with the bright red across the horizon signaling a loyal and bloodthirsty crew, but unfortunately this set has sort of the opposite legacy. When trying to figure out a way to take this characteristic glow and put it in a more prestigious context, I initially was planning on replacing the red with an ashen glow and reskinning it around that color scheme. But I figured that would look too similar to the existing cosmetics, since it's just red versus orange, and as such not be a very justifiable reskin. So while thinking of an alternative glowing scheme, I settled on a merfolk aesthetic due to the luminescent hues of the Siren Curse, creating concepts for the Sunken Renegade set. Further thinking about the Reaper-specific Skeleton Curse, I thought these nautical pieces synergize well with the drowned, dredged-up aesthetic that many of this game's skeleton crews possess. I generally feel like the undersea look is mostly slandered by the interesting Sunken Sorrow set, so hopefully this attempt gives it a bit more credibility. For Athena's Fortune, the legendary spirit set is probably the one that needs a reskin the least, since the existing pieces are, on their own, remodels of the Ghost set, which is also copied and pasted into the Guardian Ghost variant. I think having 4 versions of the same thing might make some people upset, so a brand new set down the line, especially considering it would be for the supposedly prestigious Pirate Legend faction, would be preferred. But creating brand new cosmetics would most likely contrast with the release schedule that the other companies' reskins would follow, so it's still likely that just some new textures are the play. Going with this scenario, I was planning to maybe just create a rose gold or coppery look, but figured that would just be too easy, and roped back around to the more fractured Ghost originals to create a new concept for. Looking at the slimy green glow, I decided to employ the devilish burning colors I neglected to use for my Reaper recoloring, culminating in the Fiery Spirit set. Yes, these are technically Flameheart colors being present in cosmetics for the faction of the opposite association, but I'd like to think of this as a case of Pirate Legends tools being used to seal away defeated, tainted souls. Furthermore, I think a lot of people would simply love to see the Ashen aesthetic signify cosmetics that are actually somewhat difficult to get, one specific content creator in particular, though I'm sure he would hate having to embark under Athena's colors to unlock these. But that about wraps it up. Now that we're done, I want to extend some thanks for the popularity my recent pirate game content has garnered. I was barely expecting my videos to get a couple hundred views at the best, so to see them go up into the thousands and see my subscribers go from like 20 to over 200 is insane, and you all defeated my meager expectations. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to creating further content for you all. I hope you all enjoyed my musing, and I'll see you on the seas.